Okay, so in concept, this should be the recording of my high score. So we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, like I could tell the difference between the two of these. Maybe this one? Oh cool, I got an achievement. Hello and welcome to my replay. This is the farthest I've gotten in ARM 7, so I figured, hey, I seem to have peaked in the ability that I have in playing this game. So why not record a video talking over my replay and just outline what I feel about it, if you should buy it, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't do enough research before I bought ARM 7. I thought this was going to be a refined sequel to Gigantic Army. It was from all the same people, the same kind of stuff, so I was excited to see what a better version of Gigantic Army would have been. So finding out that it was a shmup was a little disappointing. I'm not the biggest shmup player in the world. I have a very small amount of shmup experience, and it's not really my type of genre. But I played a couple hours of this game. I've not managed to beat it, but I'm kind of crap at shmups, as you will see throughout this video. But that's not important what I thought. So as for the game itself, if you haven't played it yet, it's got a loadout mechanic, so when you start playing the game, you have a main weapon. That's what you'll be firing manually by pressing the A button if you're using an Xbox 360 controller, then the sub-weapon, which just seems to shoot off on its own at a rate determined by your weapon pickup, and then a charge weapon, which the only one worthwhile really seems to be the beam weapon. I know there's probably, if you're a superhuman and can multitask better, I think the other stuff, maybe you can come up with some cool strats, but the charge beam just seems to be the best. I did a little bit of reading on their website, and this does seem to be a prequel for Gigantic Army. This one takes place in the 80s, Gigantic Army takes place in 2009, and the giant text scroll that their website provides basically spells out that the reason there are mechs on this planet in the 80s is that in the 1950s, a shadow cabal called the Loren Group, which is actually the name of the main character from Turner Gundam, basically got a whole bunch of alien technology and decided to use it to try and take over the planet. Fast forward, almost 40 years of conflict between the nations of the world and this alien technology using Cabal, and you just have out-and-out mech warfare. What you're piloting in this game is a Lancer, which is the current most advanced version of I guess I'll call them the Earth Alliance, perhaps their military. And you just seem to be the ultimate ace. And they even mention, unlike Gigantic Army, how this model is designed more for offense than defense, and that maybe even the sub-weapon idea is part of one of the reasons why you can only really take so many hits. Unlike Gigantic Army, where you have kind of a bigger health bar and a better shield. So gameplay-wise, it is basically a shmup, and so far the only way that I've found it playable for myself, as you can see in this, I'm using the Cluster Mine and the Spread Shot, which basically do the same thing, where you just fill the screen, top to bottom, with crap. It doesn't do the most damage in the world, but it'll basically kill missiles. Any destructible projectiles that are heading towards you are going to be knocked out by the Cluster Bomb and the Spray Gun, so you can concentrate more on just dodging the crap that's coming at you until you can fire the Charge Beam and just clean house. You have the pickups that give you more shields and weapons. Those are the red and blue ships you're seeing on the screen right now. And you can use points to get more pips on your life bar. And the game is pretty much, I don't know, it's a fun little thing. I really wish that there was some more of a reward to some of the other build-outs. They just don't seem, it just seems clunky to aim. I'm not quite sure how you'd fix that or what you would do to fix it, but a lot of the other weapons that require aiming and moving just aren't fun to use. Maybe people that have more experience with shmups in general are better at using the assault rifle or the SMG or the laser gun, but I just felt like the best way to play it for me as a kind of noob, so to speak, of shmups and stuff like that was just use things that would auto-aim. The sub-weapons, you have missiles, which seem to be the best, but you really need to put yourself in harm's way if you want to do the most damage. and, you know, just playing around. So let's just talk about what's going on. The first level, the third level, I think we're on the third level right now. This is the one that I find most confusing, which I feel like almost looks like an invasion and not really you're pushing off an invasion force. Because if you're looking at it, you're actually getting points for blowing the crap out of all of these buildings. And I am enjoying all that kind of stuff. This basically seems to be where you can scum out some extra lives by bursting all the windows that you can. And I kind of feel like this level is kind of the peak of where I really enjoyed it because it's before it gets too bullet helly, and there's a nice amount of power-ups, or, you know, where if you're not messing up, oh, there you go. So this is a special pro tip for you. Do not run into the shield ships. You can actually hurt yourself on them before your power-up ships are fully destroyed. Pro tip from me, the idiot. So I feel like the bullet hell amount in this level is just good enough. When we get to the further levels, you'll kind of see that things really get nuts and crazy. I really like the gigantic army, or whatever the Astroport mecha universe is. They seem to have 5 or 6 games of varying look and quality that have taken place in this universe. I'd really like to see maybe not like a strategy RPG, but like another action game taking place in this that really lets you get a little more, maybe just not flying, a little less shmuppy, more just action-packed. That's really what I'd like to see out of Astroport. I don't really know where they're going next. Just a little less of this kind of stuff. Maybe just more of just an action-adventure game where it's less about like, maybe just less arcadey is what I mean, because I don't really want to play another game where you're jonesing for time limits and you really need to worry about like partitioning your health. Like an adventure game where you can kind of like, I guess maybe a happy medium between this game, which is kind of part of Cybernator, like, which is what they've been doing, is they've been slowly building Cybernator. Maybe mixing Zardian and Cybernator into kind of like a half RPG, half shmup adventure game is something I'd really like to see Astroport try to do. Okay, so this level is also pretty fun. It's got these jerk platforms that when they explode, they fire off random bullets. I had to play this level like 4 or 5 times before I really figured out, oh wait, this is where I'm getting hit from. And it's almost worth just kind of like avoiding them and trying to not blow them up, because the trajectory of these minefields is pretty nuts. They kind of go all over the place, and they don't stand out. Unlike these like frog robots that shoot out nice, big, glowing blue blobs, you'd have to be pretty stupid. Whoops, which I am. pretty stupid to get hit by. And I do have to say this game has kind of given me a little bit of a like, I want to go back and kind of look at some shmups or overhead games that I've enjoyed in the past. I talked in my first little Let's Try video of this about Raptor, which is available on Amazon, so I'm debating picking that up. And it looks like crap. I remember it looking incredible and being really neat in the past, but I wonder how like playable or unplayable Raptor is at this point. But we'll keep, I guess, going through this. So this level, it's got a lot of these stupid portholes where people will come out. At first it's robots, so those are a little bit more manageable. You can kind of dodge back and forth. Here I am making sure that I don't accidentally run into that kind of stuff. And then the next area, you need to worry about these portholes because they will be shooting out missiles. What I found is you want to kill the first 2 or 3 missiles that pop out and then eke forward, because if you stay low, they won't be able to hit you. They'll try and stop you from getting the weapons power up, but the weapons power up, if you're being careful, isn't exactly the most dangerous thing in the world. And this is another one of those like, you know, like R-type Contra kind of stuff where if you're not used to shmups, or if you've forgotten about this kind of crap, where if you take damage, your weapons get weaker. So, something that I'm not a huge fan of, where, hey, you need to play perfect, because if you mess up at all, you get weaker, so it's harder to play perfect. And your life bar is, at that point, basically your shields, because if you take too much damage, it's going to be super hard to take out the bosses. Here we go. I'm starting to accidentally get hit a bunch. Is the bullet patterns of this guy are a little nuts. A little crazy. A little nuts. Especially the stupid Mega Man X3 looking blasts. But I do manage to, spoiler alert, I do manage to take this guy out, because he is taking a fair amount of damage from my spread shots and my blessed charge beam. Alright, so this is where stuff starts to get a wee bit unfair. I don't know if we watch all of the cinema we'll watch it. So this is where I could realize, oh wait, it is an invasion. We have pushed the alien Loran faction off of planet Earth. We're going to take it to space, and we're going to try and get back, I don't know, our surrounding area. So, similar to what Gigantic Army kind of looked like, you can see really neat-looking old rocket ships just spraying out mech suits, and you will never see another ally ever again. But this does remind me of some of the really neat stuff that you got to see in Metal Warrior and Cybernator. Even though this was Super Nintendo games, they had really great little mini cutscenes. And I'd kind of like to see Astroport kind of like, I don't know, like raise it up a little bit, show a little bit more quality. But this is pretty neat. We're going to be assaulting this shadow ship that's over by the moon. Maybe that's the alien ship. The Gogoa, I think, is the name of the aliens in this. So you can see we're going in, and everybody who isn't me is just going to get popped instantly. So this stage is a real joke. You have enemies that are just going to be spraying, just dumping bullets at you. And a lot of the trajectories, the little ones that are firing the blue bullets, oh my god, I'm not even playing and I'm having a panic attack right now. They will kind of like move towards you because they just want to suicide against you whilst firing infinite bullets. And all this stuff is so crazy. And you just, like, as you can see, something I do appreciate, you can kind of see every now and then there's like a little glowy spot on my dude. That's your actual hitbox, which is the crazy thing about shmups, is what your character actually looks like isn't really, it's like a hitbox nightmare. Like, that's the only real part that counts. Like, the center of your gun is where you really need to worry about dodging, which, I mean, allows for them to make bullet hells and allows for all the incredible, like, oh, I'm really good at bullet hell kind of stuff. Like, how did I, oh, there we go. That's how, because I didn't do it. Allows for insane shmup footage to come out, this crazy hitbox stuff, but for just a filthy casual like myself, this stuff is so crazy. I don't know if I get by this pile driver. We'll see what happens. So I'm dumping early. It didn't take any damage, so I think I messed up real bad right there. So pro tip, I don't think this thing takes damage until it still hasn't taken damage. When will it take damage? Is all of this just invulnerability frames? Oh my god, it didn't start taking damage until the whole platform was up. That's super unfair, but I guess I'm just going to straight dump on this thing. I have got no health, one hit, and it's got 1,000,000 bullets, so let's see who wins first. I seem to have really given it to it rotten, so we'll see if I can just, there we go, straight dumping. Straight dumping. But I have 1 pip of health, so unless the beginning of this stage is super kind, I think this is going to be the ending of this video and my glorious battle. So I'm trying to dump as quick as I can because these guys will shoot the moment that you are not shooting at them. Well, hey, we got a pip of shields, and we just want to kill everything as we try to invade this mothership. This is the 6th stage, so I can't imagine, like, look at all that! How are you supposed to get better at this? So here is just the craziness. I've already lost my shield pip. I'm down to 1 hit bar, and there are just bullets everywhere. And I am at this point not even watching the screen. And I died. So that's my playthrough. Those are my thoughts. It's a pretty neat game. It's only $5. So if you like mechs, if you're looking for a fun indie shmup, that is ARMS 7. It is on Steam. So, hey, if you want to support indies, these are also the people putting out Yatagarasu, and there's also Gigantic Army. So check them out, and I'll have some more videos maybe if I ever do beat this coming out in the future. So have a great one. I'm Pat. Have a good one.